Okay, what is going on, everybody? Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome. How's everyone today? I hope you're doing good. Thank you, thank you. And, happy Wednesday? No, Tuesday. Wow, I don't even know what day of the week it is. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad when I can't even remember it's Tuesday. Okay, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday the 14th of August, 2018. Hello, everyone. I'm Phil, of course. Welcome, 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 welcome. How is everyone? I hope you're doing well. I welcome you all. So, a lot to talk about today. A lot of updates and information in regards to my schedule and a lot of things that have been shifted around because of some information that, came in overnight. So, I'm going to explain all that in just a moment. Okay? So, welcome everyone to today's full day of gameplay streaming. Although today's full day of gameplay streaming is probably going to be a very confusing one. A very, I don't want to say it's disorganized because I'm doing my best to organize it as best I can when I have a lot of things that don't necessarily fit my stream format. Okay? A lot of the stuff that I'm working on today is going to be kind of oddball stuff that doesn't necessarily fill out the length of an entire stream. So what I'm going to have to do today is adjust on the fly and go between various different games in order to keep you guys, entertained for my usual streaming schedule. See, my streaming schedule is not changing. I'm still going to do this first gameplay stream, starting now, talking with you guys for about an hour or so, and then getting into over 4 hours of gameplay. And then tonight, I'm still going to do another 2-hour gameplay stream. All right, guys? So, the thing is that it's going to be very chaotic because these games are not going to fill my whole streams, okay? So, I'll talk about that in just a moment, all right? In just a moment. But, really quickly, guys, I just want to say thank you for yesterday. Yesterday was a great day. Yesterday, you guys were very supportive. You came out to my streams. You hung out with me. You watched the stuff. You were supportive during the streams. Overall, it was a great gameplay day. Great session of We Happy Few, where a lot of hilarious stuff happened. In fact, someone made this funny clip of me being in a bunker and turning on electricity, electrocuting a bunch of enemies. The enemies completely disappeared. It was pretty funny. And that clip I put up on my Twitter last night because I thought it was so damned funny. Like, that game is basically a comedy of errors, okay? It's kind of a comedy of errors because the game itself isn't bad. It's just that there's so many bugs and so many performance issues with it that it's a hilarious playthrough, in my opinion, okay? So I hope you guys will check that out. And, of course, last night, I did a special one-off sponsored stream. If you want information on that, you need no further than to go to look at my stream archives because it is archived right here on Twitch, and you can watch the stream and see how it went for yourself. And now we're moving forward. Moving forward with all new stuff this week, okay? So thank you to everyone who was very, very supportive yesterday. It was a great supportive day, and I'm looking forward to more fun stuff for the rest of this week. 4 more days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, of full streaming. So it should be pretty great, okay? All right, so let's talk now about today's schedule, and let's answer some questions. Already I see someone in the screen chat, where's Madden? When's Madden? Let me answer everything for you guys, okay? Because I know there's going to be a lot of confusion, ultimately, with my schedule now that things have been kind of adjusted and shifted around, okay? So here we go. Today, ladies and gentlemen, on this very stream, I'm going to be doing The Walking Dead, The Final Season, Episode 1. Now, originally, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to do it as my nighttime stream. However, many people got this last night when it came out around, it was midnight Eastern time or whatever, okay? And when they did, they said, well, actually, this episode is much longer than a typical Telltale episode. Typically when you buy a Telltale game, an episode's what, 90 minutes to 2 hours, right? That's what I want to say on average. But now this episode supposedly is 2.5 to 3 hours long, depending on how much time you take with it. And a lot of people are saying it's a great episode. Take your time with it. Don't rush through it. If you rush through it, you're gonna miss out. Okay. So I don't want to rush through it. I want to take my time with it, being that I've played The Walking Dead ever since it started. What was it? Back in 2011, 2012? I forget the exact year when The Walking Dead Telltale franchise started. But it's been a hell of a ride, okay? It's been a hell of a ride. And I'm very excited to see how the story ends. Although, I'll be honest with you, I get the feeling a lot of people are just burnt out on Telltale games. I hear you. If you haven't noticed, Telltale have cut back a lot on their games. At one point, they were having 2, 3, 4 games at once releasing. And now, finally, they've scaled it back to the point where maybe they're only doing 1 or 2 at a time, which, in my opinion, is a good thing. I think what happened is they oversaturated the market with so many games. I mean, at one point, they had Game of Thrones, Tales from the Borderlands, I believe Minecraft Story Mode, right? And then they were trying to do like a Walking Dead spinoff all at once. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot to be having going on at once for the same style of game. Because let's face it, the Telltale games are all pretty much exactly the same formula. It's not like they deviate from the formula and have variety. They're all just kind of click dialogue options, do some quick times here or there. And not to say that's a bad thing. There's a big fan base for that, but there's only so much of that you can stomach or digest before you get tired of it. It would be like, you know, I really like turkey, and so I eat turkey, but I eat turkey, you know, a couple times a year for holidays, but then I decide instead of that, I'm just going to eat turkey constantly. Well, eventually you're going to get tired of turkey. You see what I mean? And that's kind of what happened, I feel, with the Telltale series. But it's good now because we haven't had one in a long time. I can't even remember. What was it, Batman? I think Batman was the last one that we played together, and that was quite a while ago, right? So, it should be pretty fun. It should be an entertaining experience today to jump into this first episode of the final season of The Walking Dead. Alright, so that's the first stream. Now, as I told you guys, this is going to be a full-length normal stream. So you might say, well, if the episode is around 2.5 to 3 hours long, your gameplay usually lasts 4 or more hours, so what's going to happen for the rest of the stream? Well, what I'll do, we'll take our time, okay? We'll take our time, and we will beat the episode, and then I'll take a break, and I will switch over, okay? I will switch over to something else. What will it be? Well, it's going to be Street Fighter, because I've wanted to play Street Fighter for over a week. I'm craving it again. You know, when I don't play classic Street Fighter like Super Turbo or Third Strike from the Anniversary Collection for a bit, I crave it. I love the games. So we're going to be doing some Street Fighter at the time when I finally finish this. All right, so that's today's stream, main stream. The Walking Dead, followed by some random Street Fighter fun. Okay? Sounds good? And I don't like to do that. You know, I don't like to, on the fly, have to switch games. I think that it's annoying, and I think that it literally will lose viewership. And I know that. I know that when people tune into my streams, they like it. Oh, it's going to be one thing. In this case, today, it's a case where I just can't do it. Where I have so many things that I'm doing that are going to be shorter, that they won't necessarily fill my whole streams, but at the same time, I need to get them done. You see what I mean? All right, so that is today's main stream. Now, later tonight, I, on my late stream, am going to finish Night in the Woods. This is a game that I played, first of all, a year ago during an Indies marathon for about an hour and a half. And then I played it 2 main streams last week. And I actually really like the game. I think the plot of the game is very intriguing. And we're at a part of the game where it's like, people are saying I'm near the end. But I don't even see how that could be because there's so many questions going on. I mean, where we left off is the main character, it seems to be having like actual physical illness issues. And we're not sure what's going on with that. Okay. And then they ran into, the main characters of the game ran into some kind of a cult. And it's just very bizarre what's going on in the game. And I don't know how it's going to end. Like, it just seems like, how could it end now when they're in the middle of all these crazy developments or whatever? All right. Now, I don't know because, I never played the game, so I'm sure many of you have played it and know the answer. I don't know. All right. So, tonight, on my second late-night stream here, I will be finishing up Night in the Woods. Okay? Then, after I conclude with Night in the Woods, then I'll switch over, I guess, to more Street Fighter. So, I am doing Street Fighter today, but it's going to be a very disjointed kind of a deal, you know, where I'm going to be playing it when I have free time between the main things that I'm focusing on. So, today's kind of an odds and ends day, you know, episode of The Walking Dead. It's going to end the stream early, but then we're going to reset and do some Street Fighter, and then later tonight, Night in the Woods. Going to probably end that early, switch over to some Street Fighter. You see what I mean? So, it's going to be pretty odd. But, you know, I'll handle it as best as I can. I hope that you guys will still stick around and hang out with me for this stuff, okay? And hopefully it'll work out well, okay? Hopefully it'll work out well. Now, tomorrow is the day that is more back on track, more back on a normal gameplay schedule. And many of you have been asking for me to get back to Madden. So tomorrow I'm going to be playing Madden. I know it was supposed to originally be today, but in light of The Walking Dead being a different length than a regular Telltale game, I had to switch things around. Okay, so tomorrow, Wednesday, my first gameplay stream will be Madden 19. All right, and it should be fun. I am doing franchise mode. And I only just started franchise mode, and of course, I'm doing horribly, because I am terrible at Madden. I don't, even though I understand the sport in general, I don't really understand the controls. I don't really understand, too much in regards to the game. So, it's been interesting. So, tomorrow I'm going to be doing that, and then, once I play franchise for a while, I'll determine, do I want to keep going, or maybe I'll just do a couple online matches. I don't know. In essence, tomorrow may be my final Madden stream. So I'm just being honest with all you guys. Another 4 hours of this game. I don't know how much more realistically I'm going to play of it. I'm not good at it. It's not my forte. I already played through the story mode. I'm going to give franchise mode a shot. But, I'm not going to be playing this game at monstrous length or anything like that. I never promised that to begin with. Okay? So, that's going to be tomorrow's main stream. And then tomorrow night, for the late stream, I'm going to be doing some We Happy Few. Okay? Then on Thursday, another really random day, because I'm going to be going back to Persona 3. And I know that's pretty random that I would go back to a game that I was originally playing years ago. Over 2 years ago at this point. It was the summer of 2016, I believe, if I'm correct. And that was a game I got to the very end of it, and I didn't beat it. I got to the very end, and the final boss basically kept charming my party, which forced them to heal the final boss, and I just could never beat him. And I got so frustrated with this game, I basically rage quit it, and I never went back to it. But here's the deal. There's a special event this Friday coming up called the Rageathon, and people actually nominated and voted on this game to be played in the Rageathon, and I said, I don't think that's going to work, because the Rageathon, I'm only going to be playing each game in that event like 1 to 1.5 hours. There's no way I'm going to get to the end of the game and beat it during this marathon. So I said, instead, let's do a very random kind of conclusion stream for Persona 3 this coming Thursday. I'll try to finish it as best I can on a stream, okay? Giving it 4+ hours. Hopefully I'll beat it. And, real talk, guys, I'm going to need your help, because it's going to be, 2.5 years here since I played it. I'm not going to remember the game mechanics. I'm going to need your help to remember everything I need to do in order to beat this game, okay? So there you go. That's going to be this Thursday. And then Thursday night is kind of up in the air at this point. I'm not sure what I'm going to be playing Thursday night. I'll leave it open. Maybe I'll do a Battle Royal. Maybe I'll do more Street Fighter. Maybe I'll do more We Happy Few. Since, I'm only going to be doing We Happy Few as a 2-hour stream the day before. Maybe I'll do another 2-hour stream Thursday night. We'll see, okay? But that's Thursday. And then this Friday, to end the week on a high note, will be my Rageathon Marathon event here on Twitch. How does it work? Well, starting at my usual stream time, I will be doing a marathon of video game content, roughly 5 games, if not maybe 6. Games that people nominated and voted on that are rage-inducing. Some of the games I'll be playing, I Want to Be the Guy, Street Fighter V, Scarface, Cat Mario, and a few other, I forget off the top of my head. There's it's 5 or 6 games, okay? Basically, it should be a fun event, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a great event. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I love doing these marathons because they are so different from my normal style content. Being able to switch between so many games in one event is a good variety kind of a deal. And the bottom line is that a lot of the times, when I play these events, sometimes a game that is nominated and I play an event, I end up liking to the point where I continue it on. Who knows? Maybe one of these games, like I Want to Be the Guy, I'll want to play later, right? So we'll see how it goes. But Friday should be a great ending to the week of content, okay? So, yeah. I hope you guys will be here on Friday for my special Rageathon event. It should be pretty good. Alright, guys? Alright, so that's the week. And then Saturday's my day off. And then we'll basically, after that, reassess the situation. See how far have I gotten in all the games I'm playing or whatever. And then decide based off of that what my Sunday stream will be, etc., etc. Alright, so thank you. Thank you. Great week coming up. I hope that you guys are excited for all of the variety of content this week. Again, I want to say thank you guys for all of your support. You guys have been very supportive recently. some people have asked me what's going on YouTube, because I finally regained my monetization on DSPGaming after not having it for 2.5 weeks. People are asking me what's going on YouTube. All right, how am I doing on YouTube? Am I making money again? How is it working? I'll be very honest with you guys. Obviously, I can't disclose numbers of how much money I make on YouTube, but what I can tell you is this: it's slow for a couple reasons. Number one, because I didn't upload there for 2.5 weeks, and some people just stopped watching DSPGaming altogether because of that. They didn't know what was going to happen. And let's face it, without a giant AAA high-profile release to bring people back, maybe they're just not going to be coming around until something big happens. You know what I mean? Number two, we're in the middle of the summer, and ad revenue historically on YouTube is terrible in the summer. It's usually July and August are the two worst months. Actually, usually doesn't pick up until September, October with the fall gaming rush. Then all of a sudden YouTube ad revenue like explodes for the end of the year. Okay? So what ended up happening was, I got my ads back on YouTube. For 2 days, it was really bad, really slow, really low. Then, when it spiked, because on Friday, I played Madden and I played We Happy Few, and then it dipped again, and it's kind of like, meh. It's not good. Like, it's about half as much as what I would hope to make on YouTube once things finally settle back to where they're supposed to be. And quite frankly, I don't know if I'm going to. Right now, it's very chaotic. How can I tell you guys how YouTube is going to do when in reality, I don't even know, because the other thing is, I am uploading now longer videos to YouTube. So I have no idea with this longer video format, the way that I'm now doing YouTube videos. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever how this is going to work. I don't, okay? I don't know how it's going to work, if I'm going to get back to where I was or not, I am just grateful that at least I got anything on YouTube. I mean, that's the attitude I'm taking. I'm just grateful for whatever I can get, because anything is better than nothing. After 2.5 weeks of having nothing, anything is better than nothing. And the fact that you guys are so supportive here on Twitch every day, helps the situation, obviously. So, yeah, in regards to YouTube, I don't know right now. It's very uncertain. I don't know what's going on. It's going to probably take a few weeks for it to settle back to where it was, where people realize, oh, there will be consistent videos on DSPGaming again. Okay, I'll keep checking them out. And in addition to that, it's probably going to take real talk until like September, when I start playing big releases such as Spider-Man, okay? That's really going to bring people back to DSPGaming to watch in droves. So we've got a while here to kind of just float around and see how things go. And there's not much I can do about it. You know what I mean? So there you go. There's your little summary on how things are going on YouTube. All right, guys. So rather than have me babble on, let's go ahead and very quickly, I'm going to run through some plugs for you very quickly. And then we're going to get to shout-outs. I want to shout out everyone who has contributed here on the stream so far with cheer, subs, or tips. Give you guys credit where credit is due. And then we're going to start with The Walking Dead, all right? So let's get to the plugs. Let's get them out of the way. Thank you guys for 10 awesome years of support. 10 years I've been a content creator. 10 years you stuck with me, whether you were someone who was there from the beginning, whether you're someone who jumped in along the way, or whether you're a relative newcomer. I thank you for any kind of attention that you give me, whether you watch my videos on YouTube, you watch the streams, you spread the word. I appreciate it, especially as someone who literally has about a couple hundred, if not 1,000 people who follow me around the internet with mass slander constantly and do everything they absolutely can to ruin my life. And I really do mean that. They try to ruin my life on a daily basis. It's not like they're just trying to jab at me, or they're trying to make me improve. Because in general, most people would agree I have improved over the last year or two. I've really changed and doing my best to change positively. But there are some people out there that are so malicious, they will just do anything they can to take any opportunity away from me, to get me kicked off of sites when I've done nothing wrong. I know, it's pretty horrible. So I just want to say thank you to those of you who actually are here, who enjoy the content, who know who I am as a person for real, because you don't believe the nonsense, and you give me a chance. In general, that's all I've ever asked for, is to give me a chance, and most people who give me a chance end up liking my stuff. So thank you guys for that, okay? That being said, if you would like to continue to see me be able to do this full-time, free daily live streams, high-quality content, especially in regards to live reactionary kind of content with interaction on the streams with you guys, okay? And especially if you want to see me be able to cover all the hot new games coming up for the rest of this year, etc., there are many ways that you can contribute to help out, all right? Obviously, the first is to watch the streams, watch the videos on YouTube, and I thank you guys for that. Outside of that, there are many other ways. Let's start with Patreon over at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. If you pledge to my monthly Patreon campaign depending on how much you pledge, you will earn personal perks that earn you some pretty cool things. In particular, my favorite perk is the $5 perk. All right, the $5 perk will allow you to nominate and vote on games for special events. This month, if you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon, you'll be nominating and voting on indie games for an upcoming Indie Games Marathon that will take place this fall, okay? So please consider pledging to my Patreon. It helps me out, and you get something cool out of it as well. That is just only one of the many perks that you can get, so please go give it a look. All right, patreon.com/darksidefil. Number 2, this is very pertinent right now. Teespring. My Teespring shop just launched its 10th anniversary line of designs. It's on your screen right now, actually. Really cool stuff. I just wore a bunch of these the past few days on stream, and people really seem to respond positively to them and saying that they look really good. All right, so shirts, stickers, mugs, all kinds of fun stuff available on my Teespring. If you buy anything, you get a cool collectible. It obviously helps me out because I get a commission for every sale, so please check it out yourself, all right? And then, if you're here live on the stream and you're enjoying yourself and you want to participate, you want to get interaction going during today's stream, if you cheer, sub, or tip during today's stream, I will give you a verbal shout-out during today's stream, all right? So, yes, thank you to any contributions that you guys give during the streams. It's well appreciated. That's why I give you a shout-out for it. However, please understand that there are some criteria that you need to follow. All right, some criteria that you should follow if you want to ensure that you're going to get your shout out during the stream. Number 1, please be positive. Please don't bring up negativity. Don't bring up, oh, this guy said this about Phil. This negative thing is happening in regards to Phil over here. This guy is insulting Phil. Blah, blah, blah. We don't need to know any about that. We're here to just chill and have fun. All right, and basically have a very entertaining experience, an interactive and entertaining experience. All right, during the course of today's stream. Right? We don't want to hear about that kind of crap. You know, let that stuff stay outside of the stream in the toxic parts of the internet where it belongs. Right? We absolutely don't need that stuff anymore. So, yes, please. Try to stay positive. Number 2, no insults. No bringing up controversial topics. For example, politics, religion, we all know those are very divisive topics. We know that those are things that are going to get people all riled up and undisagreeing. Please don't try to bring that stuff up. Please try to be short-worded. If you're a big, long-winded, I cheered with 7 sentences, chances are I'm not going to read it all. What I read on my stream is very subjective. I control the content on my stream to make sure that is up to Twitch's terms of service standards, and also that is entertaining for my viewing audience. I don't have to read anything. I'm not obligated to read anything, but I like to give thanks to those who contribute and help out. In general, most people who attempt to get a shout out get it, and these streams end up being quite fun and interactive and interesting, so thank you guys for that, okay? Now, in addition, if you like to get visual recognition for your contributions, which you can, if you either cheer 50 bits or more, or you subscribe to my channel and click the share button after you do, or if you tip me $5 or more in a single tip, then you'll get an on-screen thank you animation to play. This animation, basically, is a way to say thanks. And it's pretty cool. It's a way to get noticed on the stream. So, yeah, thank you to anyone who contributes and tries to get visual or verbal recognition. It is much appreciated. Now, as you guys can see on the top of your screens, all right, we have a Stream Stats leaderboard. This leaderboard is in place and will give credit to those who are either the top cheerer or top tipper for the day, and I will begin to update that in just a moment as we get started here with the stream content, okay? So, all that being said, my friends, hopefully, hold on, I got distracted. Sorry, I got distracted. I got an email. Sometimes I get distracted. Okay, so, yeah, if you want to get, let me try this again. If you want to get credit for your contributions, there's a great chance you can if you're either the top cheerer or top tipper for today, and you'll get up on that leaderboard, all right? Now, subscribing to the channel gets you a lot of stuff. Number 1, if you subscribe to my channel, you will get access to all of the emotes. Number 2, you will not have to watch advertisements during ad breaks, which I usually run 1 to 2 times during a stream. And in addition, you get a cool chat crown badge showing how long you've been a supporter, okay? So, please consider subscribing to the channel. You get some cool stuff for it. It obviously helps the channel out as well, all right? Last but not least, I mentioned tipping. Really quick, how would you tip me if you wanted to? Well, if you look below the stream, there's a button that says Tip Jar. If you click on that, it'll take you to my PayPal tips page. If you don't see that button, that's fine. Just type !tip into the stream chat, and that'll bring a link up that will take you to the tips page as well if you want to leave a tip rather than a cheer or a sub, okay? All right. That is it for the pre-stream plugs. Let's now get to the shout-outs for those of you who have contributed. Sound good? All right, let me go ahead. Scroll all the way down. By the way, I want to apologize. Muxy seems to be having some issues today. It's been a little sluggish, like Muxy in general, which is the third-party app/program that I use to track your contributions. In general, it's been a little sluggish lately. I've noticed, like, it takes a while for your contributions to show up. But today in particular, it's not even saying that I'm live. Obviously, I am. You guys are here watching, right? So, obviously, I'm live on Twitch, but something's not jiving with Muxy here, where it's not catching that I'm live, all right? So, in general, usually what I would do is I would say, oh, there's some people who contributed before I went live on stream, and then there's some people who contributed while the stream was live. Well, sadly, I can't really do that today because it's not really working up to snuff, let's say, okay? So, my apologies. I will still give you shout-outs if and when you do show up in Muxy. But let's get started. So, Emperor Swaggins, overnight, he did a couple of cheers. The first cheer that he did said, it took me around 2.5 hours to be episode 1 of The Walking Dead. Some spoiler-free thoughts. I really enjoyed it. The art style is interesting, and it looks different from past seasons of the game. I found it more interactive than the previous seasons as well, and AJ is a badass. I think you will enjoy it, okay? Then he cheered again. He said it's 2.5 hours, a little typo. Yeah, because he said 2.5 hours originally, and then he corrected himself. So thanks for that, because if it weren't for your input, Swaggins, and of course there were 2 or 3 other people who responded to me on Twitter, I might not have known that this was longer than my nighttime stream, and so it may have been rushed. You know what I mean? Like, I might have had to rush to finish it on the night stream. I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I adjusted on the fly. Now we have enough time to play and finish the game, okay? Hardy Buck Cheers says, how are you so perfect? I don't even know what you're talking about. I am far from perfect. I am very imperfect. I've said this many times over the years. I'm a flawed human. I have many shortcomings, but I think that some of the appeal, at least, of watching me on the internet is that you know that I have shortcomings. You know I'm going to make mistakes. I think a lot of people like to see how I come back from those mistakes and how I have persevered for 10-plus years. You know what I mean? So, there you go. But anyway, thanks for the cheer, but I am not a perfect guy. Grazy Dream did a 50-bit cheer and said, rest in peace to Jim the Anvil Neidhard. At age 63, taken too soon. I completely agree. I don't know anything about the circumstances of his passing, but he was a great. He, back in the 80s and early 90s, was one of those legendary wrestlers of that big-time, cartoonish almost, WWE era, where every wrestler was like a big guy who had like a big persona around him. You know, he was part of the Hart Foundation with Bret Hart back then, and, you know, he will be missed, but you know what? He has a really awesome legacy of his family moving on there with Natty Neidhart, his daughter, who's one of the best female wrestlers in WWE today, so there you go. BattleDuck 9000 tipped me $25. Wow, thank you, BattleDuck. He says, I'm glad that your AdSense nonsense has been resolved. Here's something to help you nonetheless. Well, thank you, BattleDuck, for that. I really do appreciate that. Let's get BattleDuck up on the leaderboard. Shit. Yeah, you know, it's like I said already on this pre-stream, I'm very happy to be getting anything from YouTube because for 2.5 weeks I had nothing, but I am very uncertain of how it's going to work and what the future is going to hold because, you know, the money I'm making there is completely inconsistent. It's just, it's everywhere, you know. I came back and immediately was kind of low, then it jumped and it was okay, and then it went low again. So I don't know what's going to happen. I hope it'll stabilize. I hope that with, you know, people realizing, oh, wow, Phil's actually back. You know, that in the next couple of weeks, people will start to watch the stuff on DSPGaming again. I hope people will like the longer video format. In general, the mass consensus that I'm at least getting from those who are giving me constructive feedback is that they do enjoy the longer videos. Some people have come back against me and said, well, Phil, we were 100% used to your shorter video format, and we don't like the longer video format. But it's been a very small group of people who've come and said that to me. In general, it seems that people have already been accustomed to longer videos because everyone else was doing this on YouTube for a long time. And so for me to be putting out longer videos of, say, an hour or so, people seem to really like it. All right. So, like, for example, today, we know that this Walking Dead episode is about 2.5 hours long. So I'll probably make, like, 45-minute chunks, right? So that way I can make like roughly 3 of them would be the playthrough. See what I mean? We'll see. You know, 45, 50 minutes or whatever. Probably makes sense for this playthrough. So it'll be like 3 parts instead of just, you know, every 10 minutes. Imagine they had 2.5 hours, so it would have been like 15 parts versus now it's going to be like 3. So you could definitely see the big difference between, you know, how I used to do things and how I'm doing them now on YouTube, which is why I say it's uncertain. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that adopting the longer video format, people will finally come and sub to the channel who have stayed away from subbing for years because they were always afraid of inbox spam. Now they realize that won't happen, and maybe they'll come and sub again. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but thank you very much for the support, Battle Duck. Appreciate it. Okay. Hardy Buck cheered and says, just an observation, you said you don't like to bring up the past or John Rambo, but you feature him in your pre-stream songs every day, not being a jerk, just observing. Hardy Buck, what you may not realize is that even though maybe you don't want to bring up negative stuff about the past, so for example, no, I don't want to bring up drama about John Rambo and other people who I used to, you know, be friends with and do content with, but that doesn't mean you don't acknowledge the past didn't exist. That would be like saying, well, you know, I'm not friends with certain people anymore, so therefore I'm going to delete every video on the internet I ever made with them. You know, like I'm just going to say, let's not talk about any of this, right? That's ridiculous. As it is said, you can only learn from the past if you acknowledge it, right? If I pretend like none of it ever existed, then there will be, what was the point, right? And I actually think in some cases, in our modern society, people are so afraid of referencing negative things or things that could be injure someone else or offend someone else that we ignore and whitewash the past in a lot of ways. Like, you can't just say that everything was great in the past. No, there's some terrible shit that's happened. And you got to acknowledge that so you can learn from it and move on. And in general, if I'm going ahead and I play a song on pre-stream, that's a fun song that was based off of a fun cooperative playthrough that I did, you know, years and years ago with John, who used to be my friend and co-op partner for you know, what was it, 3 years straight there? Something like that. Then so be it. What's wrong with that? You know, that was a good time, right? I think we can all acknowledge that. And yeah, we're all adults and we can realize that in the future things don't always work out, but that doesn't mean that you erase the good times of the past either. That's ridiculous, right? So I'm not, you know, it would be one thing if every day I was bringing up negative stuff about, you know, that stuff. I don't, you know, this is a positive reference. Positive references are good, okay? So that's the difference, and that's what you should understand the distinction between the two, okay? All right. Hardy Buck has cheered. Hardy Buck cheered and says, this Walking Dead is meant to, wait, sorry that again. This Walking Dead is meant to start very slow, so expect a few yawns. Okay, so I guess, apparently this episode will be slow moving at first. That's not surprising. I think if you really think about it, every single season of Walking Dead was kind of slow at first. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, boom, something crazy would happen, like, halfway through the episode that would, like, oh my god, well, we're back to form of, you know, the gruesome, harsh, horrific reality of what happens in the world of The Walking Dead, right? That's kind of how it's always been. So I'm cool with that. Let's get a slow build. Let's see what Clementine is up to, you know, in this regard. Let's see what's happening, and go from there, you know? I'm curious to see. Because I think what they're going to say is that at least some significant amount of time has passed between Season 3 and Season 4. Clementine's older. The kid, I think his name is AJ. He's older, you know. So with all that time passing, what's the difference? Hopefully we get some backstory to all of that. You know what I mean? So, all right. Let's continue. Ultimate Reuter has subscribed to the channel for the 8th month in a row. Thank you, Ultimate Reuter, for the 8 months of support. I do appreciate that very much. Thank you. And he also cheered. No, excuse me. I confused myself. 2 people with a name that starts with Ultimate contributed back to back, and I thought it was the same person. It's not. So my apologies. My apologies. Ultimate Reuter subscribed. Thank you, Ultimate Reuter. Ultimate Boss did a 200-bit cheer and says, just so you know, there's collectibles in this game and missable trophies. Love you, Kinky Nice 69. I have no idea what that means, but yeah, from what I'm to understand, Telltale, they wanted to do a little bit of variety, okay? Although, I mean, admittedly, I think it is kind of silly because this game, this franchise, The Walking Dead, is really, in all honesty, it's the franchise that gave Telltale their notoriety as a game developer. If you remember, Telltale had made other games before The Walking Dead. They had made Back to the Future, which I actually played and really liked. They had made Jurassic Park. They'd done a couple others, but really those games didn't take off and didn't get much notoriety. They were really just for like those kind of how do you say it? They basically were games that were made just for a particular fan base. If you're a huge fan of Back to the Future, you probably really liked the Back to the Future Telltale game. But outside of that, most people found the game had a lot of shortcomings and didn't like it. The Walking Dead was the first game that Telltale put out that, boom, it just exploded with mainstream appeal because of the white-hot popularity of The Walking Dead at the time. That was the right place and right time for Telltale to get that license, and it exploded, right? But that being said, I think what Telltale said, we're going to put in some new stuff in this final season, right, to make it variety-wise. I don't necessarily even think they needed to do that. At this point, you've got people who followed your game along for 6+ years. They're going to play the final season no matter what. They don't care if there's actual new gameplay elements and content in it or not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily think that would have make or break the game. I don't think anyone cares that much. That there's collectibles and missable trophies, which really is not a staple of the Walking Dead franchise at all. If anything, it's just been choose your own adventure, kind of coast and make a few questions picks here or there that can maybe determine who lives and who dies. But for the most part, you never really had that kind of stuff, and now you do, okay? So, it's cool to know it's there. Thank you for letting me know, Ultimate Boss. I'm not necessarily sure that I'm going to 100%, be caring about every single collectible in the game and searching for every trophy, especially because I won't know what ones are available. But I'll do my best. When I play games, I usually take my time. I look around, and, that's what I'm going to kind of be doing with this game, especially because today I have a lot of time, right? I have a lot of time today to play this because it's my main stream rather than my nighttime stream. I don't have to rush through it, so that was a good thing that I made that decision, in my opinion. Okay, Michael Scarn of FB, I don't know. Michael Scarnvby, I don't know how to say his name. I apologize, Michael. I can't pronounce your name. But he said, any idea when you'll get back to Dark Souls 3? Yes. More than likely next year. Although, it'll probably be some different timing than I did this year. Because if you remember, this year, early on in the year, I said that I was going to tackle some From Software stuff, and I was planning on tackling From Software stuff, right? And I did. I ended up doing a full redemption run of Bloodborne, starting off, right from the beginning, and going through it, and mastering it in a lot of ways. Not to say that I'm the best player. I'm not great at Bloodborne or anything, but I really, this time around, learned the mechanics a lot better than I did last time, okay? The parrying, I was parrying bosses and doing counter hits on them that was doing insane damage. I mean, I went through the insanely difficult DLC. I got my revenge on freaking Ludwig twice. Not only did I beat him legit, but then I came back in New Game Plus, I beat him again, right? So I think it was a pretty entertaining playthrough to see me finally go back and learn the game rather than flub through it like I did the first time I played the game, okay? But after that, I was pretty burnout. I was pretty burnout on Dark Souls style content, From Software content. I didn't want to go back and play anymore. And so I've been doing a lot of other various things. I think next year, 2019, will be the year when I'll probably return. It'll be a 3-year anniversary, right, of Dark Souls 3. It'll be a good time to go back, play the game, experience, the DLCs as well, everything. Like, do a full run through the game from start to finish. Who knows? Perhaps this time I'll actually learn how to parry in Dark Souls, which I never did. I don't think I've ever legitimately parried anything on purpose in Dark Souls. Maybe like once in history. So we'll see. But I'm thinking next year. Now here's the thing. It's going to be different because this year, early on this year was very slow. If you guys remember, from the months of like February through like May, except for God of War, which was a huge release, there really was not that much going on at all. Okay. At all. So, in that regard, I kind of shrug and I say, well, I'll do some downtime stuff. I'll play some Bloodborne, throw it in there for variety's sake so people will have fun on my streams or whatever, right? Next year, if you guys aren't aware, early 2019 is going to be one of the busiest gaming seasons ever. A lot of games that were supposed to come out in 2018 were delayed into early 2019. I mean, already in late February of 2019, I believe there's 5 games coming out in 1 week, out of which like 3 to 4 are giant high priority games. It's going to be insanity. So I get the feeling early 2019 is going to be the exact flip side of what you would expect for early game year. We're going to have non-stop, high-profile, big new releases. I'm not going to need anything for downtime. You know what I mean? There won't be any downtime to squeeze in Dark Souls. So, in particular with Dark Souls 3, all right, maybe we wait. Maybe we wait until finally those games start to die out. And then I decide I'm going to now jump into Dark Souls 3. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, I am, in 2019, I am planning to go play Dark Souls 3. And, I'll say this, in 2019, as long as things go according to plan, I don't have any health issues or whatever, I'm probably going to play Danganronpa V3. A lot of people have wanted me to play Danganronpa V3 after I played both 1 and 2 last year. And I have absolutely been doing, you know, a lot of stuff. And I know that people want to see me do more variety of content. In particular, people liked the variety of content when I did Danganronpa, although some people said the games are way too long and they didn't like it. I think people want to see Danganronpa V3, so I'm going to probably do that as well as Dark Souls 3 next year. Okay? Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Okay, Hardy Buck Cheered says, I thought you said you never rage quit, just an observation. No, I never said that. I actually never said that at all. It's the people who say stuff like that, okay, I hate to say this, sadly are not fans of mine. There are people who take what I say and twist it to something that I didn't. So, in particular, all right, when people say, well, Phil says he never rage quit, but here's all the evidence of him rage quitting. That's not true. What I said is I've never rage quit in a video game. Never have I played, or not a video game, excuse me. Boy, I already screwed that up. I never rage quit in a fighting game. That's what I meant to say. You know, when I'm doing a session of Street Fighter Online, when I'm doing a session of Tekken, when I'm doing a session of Injustice, or whatever game it may be, if I'm playing an online match and I'm raging because I'm losing or there's lag or whatever, I would never pull the plug, okay? I would never pull the plug. In fact, once ever did that ever happen, and it happened on purpose on April Fool's Day during an April Fool's Day event. That was the joke, was that I never do it, and I did it on April Fool's Day as a joke, and people loved it. People got the joke and laughed and thought it was hilarious. They're like, wow, Phil finally rage quit in a fighting game, right? But outside of that, I have never rage quit a fighting game online, okay? Now, in regards to what people will twist up. They'll say, oh, well, Phil said he never rage quit, but here's when he played Persona 3 and he never finished it, and here's when he played Scarface and he never finished it, and here, yeah, but that's not what I said. I said I never rage quit a fighting game. I will openly admit I've rage quit games. I know I have. Not only have I rage quit them, I've bored quit them. Where I'm playing, I'm so fucking bored, I hate it, I'm just not going to play it again, right? There's been many instances of that as well. I will openly admit that. I mean, it's public knowledge. It would be pretty dumb of me to say something when I literally am the person who put out the evidence to the contrary. Why would I say, oh, I've never rage quit a game, when there's footage all over my own channel of, you know, a few times, I don't know, I'd probably say maybe 20, 30 times, maybe over the years, that I was in the middle of something, I got frustrated and I stopped playing or something like that. I'm trying to remember. See what I mean? The problem is that, again, people will spin stuff into negativity to make me look bad no matter what. So they'll even change the definition of what a rage quit is. Everyone knows what a rage quit is. When someone's playing a game, they get incredibly frustrated for whatever reason, they stop playing the game. Whether it's they pull the plug on an online match of a fighting game, they just say, fuck this, they turn the game off in the middle of playing a single-player game, that's a rage quit. But then they'll stretch the boundaries of what that means. So, for example, they'll say, oh, well, when you were playing Injustice 2, you didn't pull the plug, but you just said, screw this, and you put your controller down, you let the opponent beat you. That's a rage quit. No, it's not. Just because you want to magically turn shit into something to fit your weird definition to make me look bad, that's not a rage quit. That's called a forfeit, stupid. That's a forfeit. In a tournament, you could do it too. In a tournament match, it's perfectly legal if you don't want to continue playing to just say, I forfeit this match. I've done it before. And, you know, It happens in tournaments all the time. So that's absolutely silly that people would, oh, that's a rage quit. Nope, it's not. You're just stupid. And you're trying to make it look like something it's not to fit your own purposes. You know what I mean? But again, the people who would do that and say stuff like that, they're only just trying to make stuff fit their own dialogue, their own agenda. They're not interested in actually having legitimized criticism or concerns. They just want to say, oh, Phil said one thing and then he did the other. Well, bullshit. I have never legitimately rage quit a fighting game in my 10 years of being a content creator for the internet. Because I don't care. That's the thing. Like, the people who rage quit a game like that, I feel they're kind of really immature. All right, like, who cares if you're playing a random-ass fighting game online, whether it's a ranked match or a stupid casual match or whatever. Who cares if you lose a match? And who cares if people are abusing lag or whatever? It's not a big deal. Now, yeah, I get angry at it and I'll rage at it. I'm not going to quit the game. You know, what's the point of that? Let's just pull the plug in and waste everyone's time, you know. What else can I say? That's the bottom line. So, yes, I have rage quit games, but no, when I was doing online sessions of fighting games, I never rage quit an online session of a fighting game. People will lie and try to twist it to make it sound like I did. I did not. And that's the bottom line, or else people would be producing tons of evidence of this happening, and they never have, you know. But again, oh, well, Phil said he never rage quit. Here's what he rage quit all these games that aren't fighting games. Well, I never said I never rage quit. You know what I mean? So, there you go. All right, so Judicious Echoes did a 50-bit cheer, and he's bringing up some stuff about some other content creator. I don't know anything about it. I appreciate your cheer, Judicious Echoes, but I'm not going to bring up another content creator, and I'm certainly not going to bring him up in a negative light, so thanks, but no thanks. Same thing with Hardy Buck. He cheered. He's bringing up some ridiculous kind of stuff, and I'm just not going to address it. So thanks for the support, but again, you know, not going to bring that up at this time, okay? All right. Rock the Ice cheered. He says, since on one of the IRLs, Cat expressed interest in doing some light streaming, any chance you let her use KO Gaming to upload it since you don't use it? At this point, I leave any kind of those decisions in her hands. If she ever wants to live stream, good for her. You know, I'm not against it. If she ever wants to upload content to YouTube, I'm not against it. But I know for a fact, and she knows for a fact, okay, that sadly, very sadly, what would happen is there'd be insane amounts of toxicity, negativity constantly being thrown her way. Every single thing she would say and do would be completely microanalyzed by you-know-who, and it would be insane amounts of pressure and stress and just undue hatred tossed towards her. So as much as she would enjoy, for example, playing a few random matches of Overwatch every once in a while on a stream and then maybe uploading them to YouTube, is it worth the incredible amount of stress and attacks that she's going to receive to do it? And I think, in general, you know, her feeling, at least up to this point, is it's not. Not to say that that won't ever change, but, you know, just to give you guys some example, every single day I'm here on Twitch, people are false reporting me, saying that I'm doing things I'm not doing. Every single day that I'm on YouTube, they're doing the same thing. Every single day that I speak about anything, they false report me on Twitter. They false report me everywhere. They're trying to get me banned even though I don't do anything wrong, okay? They insult me. They twist things nasty, in a nasty way. You know, I'll do absolutely nothing wrong, and they'll then hold me accountable for things I did years ago that were wrong, right? Like, that's what I mean. That's me, and she knows that. So now imagine, you know, the significant other trying to do something like that. And she, you know, being that she's a woman, and now people will say all kinds of sexist, disgusting things. You know what I mean? Is it worth it? Probably not. So that's, at least at this point, that's the attitude, at least, that we're kind of taking. But like I said, I'm not the kind of person that I would, far be it from me to not be supportive if she ever wanted to do something like that. I would be very supportive. If anything, what I would say is the difficulty that we would have, the biggest difficulty, okay, that we would actually have here, would end up being that she would have to figure this out. She would have to figure out how to do stuff. Hold on a second. My stupid phone vibrating. I hate when I get distracted. Okay, let's try this again. If anything, the biggest thing holding us back from having her do something like that is timing. And when I say that, I mean, for example, today, she's at work, I'm at work. When she gets home from work, I'm still streaming. Then we have dinner together, right? Which obviously she can't stream then, or she can't record then. Then, guess what? I'm streaming. And I'm streaming all night until like 9, 10 p.m. And then she goes to sleep because she has work in the morning. So it really is a timing thing. And, the free time that maybe she would have to do it is time that we like to spend together doing stuff. So it would be a timing issue. When could she do it when it's not going to affect me? Because she would have to use the same internet line. We tried, like, having her do it with wireless internet, like even playing games with the wireless internet in the house. It's very finicky. A lot of the times it disconnects. There's no way she'd be able to live stream with wireless internet. It's just not going to happen. So, I actually ran an internet line from my office to her office. And so she can, if she wants, she can have, dedicated, LAN internet. But obviously, she can't stream the same time I'm doing it because it would take away from the internet. There's no way that two people can stream at once on one internet connection, So, we'll see. We'll see moving forward, how stuff goes. But there's really nothing that we can do about it. We can't make it so that we live in two separate houses and we have two separate internet lines. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of factors. The factor of the nastiness, the negativity, the toxicity, the trolling would be one major factor. And then the other factor would be just the timing of her being able to do it, okay? I'll let you guys know if at all she ever chooses to do something like that. But at this point, the answer is no. We haven't really had any serious determination on it yet, okay? Okay. Shout out to 3 High Fives, who cheered and says, in the light of the new Spider-Man game, what's your favorite Spider-Man movie? I mean, let's see. I've seen the original trilogy from the 2000s, and then I did see the 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies, and I hated them. So all in all, Spider-Man 1 or 2. I think that 2 overall is a slightly better plotline than 1, but I think 1 is really cool because it establishes the character and introduces a lot of the tried and true kind of Spider-Man storylines that we all know and love. So in that regard, I'm not 100%. Not 100%. But I would probably say Spider-Man 1 or 2 starring Tobey Maguire. That douche kid cheered. And he says, can you go into more detail about the difference between a rage quit and a forfeit? I'm not sure I fully understand what you're saying. I already did. I'll very, very briefly say it again. A rage quit is if you are playing a video game and you decide to stop playing that video game because of anger that was caused by something going on in that video game and you do not continue to play it. If it's an online match, it probably means pulling the plug, right? You pull the plug on the online match and quit out of it before it's completed. If you are in an offline game, obviously you can't pull the plug, so it would just mean like shutting the game down, okay? If you play it to completion, like for example, if you play a game of online play to the match ends, that's not a rage quit. You didn't quit, It's a forfeit. A forfeit means that during a match or anything, you just decide that you are no longer going to competitively continue. So, for example, if I'm playing a tournament match, and this has actually happened to me before, okay? This has happened to me before. During a tournament match of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, this was a time when I had hurt my neck, and I had no feeling in my thumb on my right hand, and I had shooting pain in my right shoulder and right arm. But I had already bought tickets and everything to go to a tournament. So I went to a game tournament, final round, and I was playing my first round match of Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I couldn't feel my thumb, so I was pressing buttons, and I couldn't tell if I was or not. So I wasn't completing combos. I was accidentally having moves come out I didn't want. And right in the middle of my first match, I forfeit. I put my joystick down. I raised my hand to the tournament director. I said, I forfeit. I can't play. My hand is killing me. I just can't do it. And that's a forfeit in a tournament. So that's it wasn't, well, fuck this piece of shit game. And I slammed everything. I said, fuck this. And I ran away. No, I said, I can't continue to compete. I forfeit. So it's kind of the same thing. Let's say you're playing an online match. Connection's terrible. You can't control the game legitimately because it's so bad. And your opponent is destroying you. You can't even react to it. You put your controller down and you say, I give up. I forfeit. That's different from a rage quit. A rage quit would be, fuck this guy. You're getting real angry and you pull the plug. That's a rage quit. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. But again, people will spin stuff to try to fit their own silly agendas. You know what I mean? Okay. Shout out to Judicious Echoes, who did a 50-bit cheer. But again, he's going to bring up I guess now a former content creator. I'm just not going to address that, man. I told you. It's against the rules to bring up these kind of things. It is. It's against the rules. So please do not bring up other content creators in any kind of a negative light or whatever. I'm not gonna play that game. I'm not. Because what it is, it's bait. You know, I take it, and then next thing you know, someone's angry, and I'm not going to take that bait, okay? All right, well, Douche Kitty says, I don't understand the difference then because they sound the same to me. Well, then I can't help you. You know, it would be like some people, no matter how much you explain to them that the Earth isn't flat, they still think the Earth is flat. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't... it doesn't matter how much you explain the difference or you show evidence. They just don't believe... They can't get it. I guess they're just that kind of person. I don't know what else to tell you. There's a very distinct difference between the two. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. I can't, you know, not much else I can do about that, okay? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is it for today's pre-stream. I want to say thank you for your contributions. I do appreciate your contributions very much, okay? I'm excited for The Walking Dead. I want to see how this goes and how this ends. Obviously, it seems like it could be pretty exciting. We're starting the final season. Reminder... This only is going to be about 2 to 2.5 hours long, and once I finish it, I will be switching over probably to some Street Fighter. So obviously at the end of the stream, I'll let you know when I'm doing that. Thanks for being understanding that today's a weird day. Later tonight, Night in the Woods, that's also going to be weird because I'm going to have to switch midstream and everything. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for understanding. Thanks for all your support. And Hardy Buck did a final 25-bit cheer. He says, here's some bits. Thank you, Hardy Buck. All right. So shout out to... Ultimate Boss, excuse me, for the top cheer. And shout out to Battle Duck for the top tip. Let's end the pre-stream. I actually got to use the restroom quickly before we start. That way we won't have to take any breaks during The Walking Dead. We'll be able to play straight 2.5 hours, no breaks, uninterrupted. So I'm going to take like a 5-minute break here to go use the bathroom, and then I'll be back, and then we will start. Okay, guys? Thank you. I'll be back in a few with The Walking Dead.